What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. We are excited. It's just me and Andy today. It's been an insane season with the end of the year wrapping up. We've got policies renewing January 1st, so we're inundated with all that stuff. There's crazy amounts of things going on, but we wanted to take a moment to bring a year-end review. Some of the things we at FifthWall have been experiencing, seeing, and what we see for the future going into 2024. Andy, thanks for jumping on here, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
These two remote guys over here, while everyone else is in Pittsburgh hanging out at office day, we get to make videos from completely different states. First thing I wanted to highlight, this year, FifthWall, and granted, I don't really know with numbers, but for a company that just started an MSP channel in the insurance space, I think about 2 years ago exactly, we surpassed 1,100 MSP partners this year. So the first thing I just want to say is thank you to all our MSP partners who, yes, it's like, oh, cool, we got 1,100 MSPs interested. But really what that tells me is that cyber insurance is a real problem for MSPs. And the fact that you are seeking out solutions to make it a little bit easier for you is huge. So for those MSP partners who keep coming in, I would just encourage you, there's the things we're going to talk about in this video today. It's just kind of moving. The insurance problem isn't going away, but one of the things that you as an MSP are set up for is that you are uniquely in a space where you can simplify cyber insurance for your clients. And I don't want you to lose sight of that. It's also going to help you and speak sales to your clients. You're gonna be able to have the conversations about security controls to your clients, and they're not going to feel like they're hit out of left field to find out some new security service that they need to implement, because you're aligning it with something. You're aligning it with what insurance is requiring of them. So just wanted to offer that encouragement that you've been on board with us. You've had those conversations with us. It's time to get moving into 2024 because this problem's not going away. And we're really excited to see where cyber insurance and MSP services continue to intersect. And we are so ready for the ride. And one of the reasons, one of the benefits of this and seeing where this is going is that FifthWall hired an MSP partner success manager, which he has made many times me aware of is that it is actually a palindrome, our MSP PSM. And for the math nerd in me, palindromes are a great thing, even though this one involves letters. So Andy, obviously they've seen your face and your adorable smile at this point many times, but could you just explain, like, we brought you on and what you're doing here and why it's such a big deal?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So it was kind of an amazingly serendipitous thing. I was down here in the South. I live in Arkansas. I operate kind of in the Mid-South. And I was down here doing essentially what FifthWall was doing on the retail side, doing what FifthWall was doing on the wholesale side, right? And Reed and I met through Wes Spencer, through a couple of folks that kind of said, hey, you guys need to sit down and talk. And Reed said, man, the timing is just too perfect on this thing. He mentioned that you guys were about to pass 1,000 partnerships. Actually, he told me 700, and then when I got in, he was like, oh, 700, sorry, it's 1,000. But the idea was that you were soon to be channel chief. Kind of the face of FifthWall, doing a lot of our webinars, a lot of recruitment, a lot of bringing people in. Wilson, phenomenal at the policy side of things. But one of the things that I immediately resonated with Reed on was his self-reflection on FifthWall of, hey, we do these things really well, but we have a gap in our process here, right? We've listened. And we have people that are all excited on the front end and like, man, this is awesome. It's going to be a huge help for us. And we get past the dating, the honeymoon phase, and it's like, we don't really know where to go with this, right? We need more education. We need help with marketing. We need team training. We need kind of a playbook established, right? And that's where I came in, was directly between Will and Wilson to give MSPs the kind of customized white glove treatment of where are you? How are you built? What do your clients look like? Do you have compliance, a compliance team? Do you have a VCSO offering? How many account managers do you have? What do they know about cyber insurance? How are you using it today? And really dig into the weeds, because I honestly, at my core, believe that every MSP has a different thumbprint, right? Like they all look differently. So they're going to interact with us and they're going to interact with cyber insurance through their clients all differently. There'll be some similarities, but each one of them will be customized, and they need, kind of customized solutions around that. So that's what I do as the MSP Partner Success Manager. I sit there and make sure that they're well taken care of in the ways that they need.
Yeah, and that's a huge update for FifthWall. I mean, if you can, if I can maybe boil it down to a really simple phrase, Andy, would you agree that for a lot of MSPs, having the cyber insurance conversation can be awkward?
Extremely awkward, and yeah. It's one of those that, because of the timing of the last 2 years and the change, right? I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Cyber insurance was borderline an enemy of the MSP, could be an enemy of the MSP prior to like 2020 or 2021. So now, not only is this late arriving, but we're completely and totally redefining how cyber insurance interacts with the MSP. And it's like, wait a minute, this can help us. This can be a good thing, and they've got to completely and totally wrap their head around a new concept.
Yeah, definitely. So that's something we're really excited for moving into 2024, that our education track and our ability to help MSPs feel less awkward when it comes to conveying cyber insurance to their clients, and helping the clients see the importance of kind of staying alongside that insurance framework to say, hey, you're in a good spot. We're going to continue to keep you a good risk to your insurance carrier so that the renewal process isn't so painful. We're excited for all that. So the other thing I want to make sure we take some time to talk about here is that, Andy, you brought this up earlier, that we're kind of seeing a shift back towards a hard market, right? And just to preface everybody, I mean, if you heard any of our talks early at the beginning of the year, a lot of what we were talking about is, oh man, we actually, for the first time in a long time, started to see a softening market. Now, softening is relative. I feel like in the cyber insurance space, it's still frustrating as all get out, right? So it's not all of a sudden easy. It's still chaotic, right? But the softening market was nice, and part of that was due, honestly, it was a little bit of a false response, just because the war in Ukraine, where Ukraine and Russia, where a lot of ransomware actors come out of, plus an unusually long, this is crazy, I learned this, that ransomware takes a summer break. Right. So there's actually a period where the ransomware attacks are a lot lower, and they call that summer break, because all that money that they got over the course of the year, they get to now go use on nice cruises and vacations.
Yeah, they need to go take a vacation and spend it, right?
Gotta go take a vacation. But because it was an unusually long summer break is what they were calling it. So now we've actually seen a spike in ransomware attacks, and we're starting to see the reality that carriers are going to start kind of battening down the hatches again and get a hard market. So Andy, what are you seeing there? What are some potential solutions or pathways forward for that?
Right. No, and first of all, I think the idea that a soft market was relative. I mean, for some people, soft market meant your renewal was only 10% increase instead of the standard 60 or 70 of the last couple of years, right? Yeah, no, how do we know a hard market's coming? Like, I mean, we're just two average middle-aged white guys, how do we know that a hard market's coming? Number one, look at the activity over the last 6 months, right? If you go back and you look at ransomware claims and ransomware incidents since like June, July this year, there has been a major uptick in that, which means more losses. Anytime there's more losses, more payouts, guys, it's just simple math, right? If every time I gave you $2, you only gave me $1 back, I'm not going to sit and play very long, right? So the market is gonna adjust, right? So we know that that's coming. But then also too, I mean, there's some interior chatter in the the insurance sectors that this thing has been going south in a good way, for end users for too long. So what we expect to see is prices come back up, particularly pricing of risks that does not have a strong security stack, right, or a good cybersecurity posture, right? Like that we expect, because kind of where we went was the pricing was really low and there wasn't much underwriting, And then COVID hit, and then the pricing skyrocketed, and there still wasn't great underwriting. And then underwriting got crazy there for a minute. The pricing came down. And what we expect to see moving forward is pricing to creep back up, but that underwriting and the in-depth questioning about what does the network look like and what controls are in place. We expect to see a rise in price and a focus on things like privileged access management that we haven't really seen be a big deal in the past, and incident response planning, which we really haven't seen in the past. And we're starting to see some regulations say, hey, you've got to have a CIO, VCIO, VCISO internally with your organization, car dealership, who it used to be the guy's nephew that just plays a lot of Xbox, right? Like there's going to be some shifting in controls and requirements, and then with along that, the folks that aren't doing those things will pay the piper for it.
Yeah, that's actually a great transition to the kind of the last thing we want to talk about here in this video. Moving into 2024, something that we're seeing, and even over the course of 2023, it happened in the course of a year. Kind of gone are the days of being able to survive as an MSP doing just break fix IT. You might, if you're just doing it kind of as a side gig, yeah, you might be able, or maybe you're a copy dealer who also offers some MSP break fix services, great. But if you're an MSP service and you're not offering extensive cybersecurity controls, it's going to be really hard moving forward, especially with all these cyber insurance requirements, because more and more clients are starting to adopt cyber insurance policies. They're going to their carriers and their insurance agents, and they're at the very least having those conversations. Who knows if they're good policies or not, but at the same time, they're having the conversations, they're getting the applications. And if your MSP isn't able to check the boxes that are going to fulfill even the baseline requirements of cyber insurance, there's going to be issues. And on top of that, to Andy's point, we're seeing this evolution of security controls, right? When FifthWall, I love to brag about it, but FifthWall pioneered the 5 core controls. Like, that was our thing, and then it's everywhere now. Like, literally, it's out there. It's all over the place. Like, MSPs have it. It's everywhere, right? And that's awesome because it's really important information. And we got that because we're able to go to our carrier market as a wholesaler and see where those pass-fail rates are, right? But that pass-fail rate list is quickly increasing. Hey, you're not getting a policy if you don't have, to your example, a PAM tool. If you don't have a VCISO because you're required to adhere to FTC safeguard rules. So one of the things we're going to be doing moving forward into 2024 is help MSPs recognize and understand what I'm liking to call the cyber insurance framework, the CIF, not to be confused with CIS, right? But at the same time, it's a framework that MSPs can be following that are going to help them kind of align not only their baseline security stack with what cyber insurance is requiring, but it'll also provide a pathway of sales conversations with them and their clients. Hey, how are you going to prep your client to have conversations around what security they should be upgrading towards? Well, if there's something out there like a framework, Andy, you've talked about things like FTC, and we've got HIPAA and CMMC, and those are all different frameworks to be able to align a client to something so that they know they need to be moving in a good direction, but then to also recognize that if they don't maintain that security posture, that their insurance carrier is going to drop them. That adds an extra level of accountability and almost anxiety to the situation, because the carriers, if the client's thinking, hey, if I drop this security measure, I'm not going to have coverage, that completely changes the game from you're just trying to sell me stuff and MFA is annoying, so I'll just sign something and get rid of it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and I know, and I think that, having something to look at as the standard is a good thing, right? Like, I mean, you see my sports background stuff. I mean, I always tell my guys, like, don't compare yourself to your peers. Your peers may not be very good. Like if I'm a car dealership and I go, I'm not putting MFA on because I've got 5 buddies and none of those guys have MFA. Well, guess what? They're all terrible risks, So, in the sports world, I would much rather my guys watch Mike Trout swing or, Bryce Harper swing and compare off of that, because that's what good looks like, right? So, find you some standard, whether it's a compliance standard or cyber insurance. We feel like that cyber insurance, because it does move quicker, right, and it evolves quicker, we're biased, but we feel like cyber insurance can be, at least at times, the better standard. I mean, let's take HIPAA, for example. if HIPAA hadn't updated since 2020. I mean, think about that, right? I mean, what is healthcare slightly different than it was in 2020? I mean, if we had a shift in that landscape, of course we have, right? So, yeah, we were just joking today on Rejecticon, right? Cyber insurance loves being the bad guy, right? Like we love to come into the room and say, look, I know that your MSP may not have a PAM tool right now, but you better find it before renewal in February, right? So to your point, MSPs, the stuff that we're seeing, offering vCISO services, really pushing into breach response, things like privileged access management, EDR, MDR. If you're not offering those things heading into 2024, they're going to come up when we underwrite business, and you can either make that money in-house or you can send it somewhere else.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So, yeah, honestly, adhere to a framework, and we're here to help on the insurance side. Like Andy said, it's rapidly evolving. We like to say evaluated quarterly, right? I mean, there's shifts that can happen relatively quickly. So we're here to help with that. Before we wrap up, 3 things I want to highlight that kind of like a lightning round kind of thing, because you've probably heard about it. One, Beltex. Right. So it's a subsidiary of FifthWall, but it's something that we're really excited about because MSPs have consistently come to us and said, what's my role in incident response? And we have education around that. We want to help you around that. But at the same time, Beltex is a product that's going to allow you to be part of the IR panel for that obviously you have to get vetted. You have to prove yourself as someone who can handle it. But at the same time, it does give MSP partners that opportunity. So sign up on the wait list if you haven't already. That's the first thing. Second thing is risk gauge. I don't really know how much I can talk about it, so I'm just gonna put out there that continuous underwriting is coming, and it's going to be an amazing thing. And then third, IBEX, another thing that we've been talking about for a long time, is hopefully going live soon. So that's all really cool products that FifthWall is excited about because it's a product. It's not just a theoretical, let's go get you insurance quotes, but it's things that we can help to really make cyber insurance easier, more quantifiable, and honestly more understandable. So Andy, anything else you want to wrap up with here before we give our goodbyes, sign-offs?
No, man, honestly for me, heading into the end of the year is just a super thankful heart to be in the spot that I'm at and the role that I'm in, particularly as a Southerner. Have spent I feel like the last 4 years kind of beating my head against the wall to a degree. You feel like you're the John the Baptist figure that's out there like screaming, hey, this stuff's coming, and nobody's listening, and they think that you're just the crazy camel hair guy, right? So very, very thankful honey to be in the spot that I'm in with you guys. That's right, locusts and honey, baby. No, but just to be in a role where I can help folks, and I'm surrounded by people that get it. For the longest time I felt like I literally was the crazy person in the room. So to be with an organization like FifthWall, to be working with MSPs like the folks that we work with, was on a call today where, we were the juices were flowing, and they got it, and they had found 4 or 5 clients that needed help, and we were working together, and the outcomes were going to be great for those guys. Just to be able to finish my year in a spot where I bring value to the people that I serve. Just super, super thankful for that.
So good. We love having you on board here, man. And to our 1,100 plus MSP partners, again, thank you so much. Cyber insurance is not going away, and you recognize it. So we are just thankful for, like I posted yesterday, we're thankful for a team that works together, that's cohesive, and we are here to back you up when it comes to cyber insurance and teach you and lead you and help you integrate it into your process. So from all of us at FifthWall, we want to wish you a happy holidays, a happy new year, and we are hoping for minimal cyber incidents throughout the rest of 2023. Thanks again for listening in. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good day.